Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, okay? It is Thursday, February 10th. You guys, we are moving right along, right through. We ain't taking no breaks. We're not stopping. And we are going forward with Unapologetic Black Woman, okay? So today I have the pleasure of having today my girl Analise from Curls on the Block. Curls on the Block, can you go ahead and give us a what's up? Can you introduce yourself and let us know who you are?
Hey, curl friends, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can.
Well, that's enough. My name's Analise Harris, and I am the founder of Curls on the Block. And Curls on the Block is a nonprofit I started after witnessing a lot of girls who I taught as an educator suffering and impacted negatively in the academic environment. Their low self-esteem, minimal academic effort, and it was just really frustrating to see a disconnect. They didn't want to come to school, and if they did show up, perhaps they were a little disruptive to what systems were in place for learning, right? And so I started Curls on the Block to attract girls of all curls and colors to embrace, explore, and empower their natural selves using beauty to connect with STEAM. And I chose beauty because what does every middle to high school girl care about? How they look and how they show up. So I figure, why not connect what they care about and what they will care about for their lifetime, and build those skills up, but also make those connections to a career that is pretty much the future. STEM, you got to be in tech, you have to be comfortable with different careers in the sciences, maths, and arts, even, understanding, hey, even when you're an artist, you're incorporating, different mathematical components and or technology. We all got a cell phone. So, helping the girls see how they can infiltrate the tech industry, whether it's sales, whether it's development and creativity, and or using apps. How are we using our apps to encourage folks to build our friendships, staying connected? So I definitely have enjoyed my time as the founder. I've done quite a bit, and I'm excited to share and chat with you about being unapologetic and Black.
Hey, and I love it. Listen, thank you so much for that powerful introduction. I'm going to go into a little bit, but first, I want now before we got on here, you guys. Annalise was about to tie her hair rag, excuse me, not her hair rag. Girl, I didn't mess around and called it what I call it at night. Her head wrap, excuse me. And so I wanted her to do it on live with us so that we can kind of get an idea of how we can do it ourselves. So we're going to start off with a little hair wrap introduction. How's that? Instagram. Can you hear me? And if you hear me, do you hear an echo? So we're going to go ahead and get going. Go ahead, Annalise. Show us what you got.
Okay. Yes. So I want to give a shout out to a couple people. First of all, thank you again, Candace, for this opportunity to chat and share. I want to just shout out CC's Closet. Definitely been a friend and partner. I actually met at Empower Her, and Morgan DeBond put that together, who's the co-founder of Blavity. And, they created a space where all these Black women were able to network and learn from each other. And I just connected with them. I was like, oh, y'all are dope. And here they are. Actually, CC's head wraps are available at Target now. And so, Target has this big effort to highlight Black creators and entrepreneurs, and CC's Closet has been featured on Essence and tons of other platforms. But Shopify, they've been in a commercial there, and it's so cool because I'm like, I know them, and they were even on the Netflix thing. So like the She Made It, I think. So I just love CC's Closet. The their sister, sibling, kind of like you and your sisters that I know,
Yes.
but they really support each other and have really quality head wraps. And I want to make this connection to the Curls on the Block Curly Commandments. So over the summer, we actually had Camp Curly, and it was so exciting to put together all of the things that I've been teaching as a curriculum into a week. And it wasn't everything at all, trust me, but it was a lot of fun to pick and choose. Hey, this is what I think the girls would really like to do and accomplish in a month, in a week. And it stems from the Curls on the Block commandments. So the first one is thou shalt sleep on a satin pillowcase. The fourth one is thou shalt deep condition often. And then the fifth one, thou shalt try a head wrap. And the reason I love to incorporate even the commandments is because it helps with basic maintenance, and the girls are able to learn how to take care of their hair as well as their parents. And there's white moms who have kids with curly hair, mixed kids. There's black moms who never learned how to braid or don't know how to braid. And so you had skill levels all over the place. And I was like, you know what, let me streamline this. And the curly commandments, the Curls on the Block curly commandments, there's 10. And my favorite is also the 10th one, thou shalt compliment all awesome afros and curly girls when they slay. So it's building up that encouragement piece too. And I appreciate you for letting me do a demo. Little pressure, but
don't worry about it.
One of the fun parts of doing demos is that people realize, oh my gosh, it's so fast. So all those elaborate wraps people see, and the joke is kind of, oh, what took me 3 minutes to do my hair today?
I love it. Thank you for doing this. And just kind of while you're throwing your pony in, when you're throwing it up in a pony,
look,
I just want to say, a little bun. Okay, you're doing your bun. My girls, my 12-year-old had an opportunity to go to the Curls on the Block Curly Week. What did you call it again?
Well, it's called Camp Curly.
Camp Curly, yes, Camp Curly. And I just want to say that it was so empowering for these young women to be here and to get to experience other Black girls who have hair like theirs. And so thank you, Analise, for putting that on for our chocolate girls, our milk chocolate girls, so that they can have that experience, because a lot of our kids out here go to predominantly white schools. And so they go to schools where it's like, oh, what's your hair doing? I don't get it. So to have that opportunity, thank you for that.
Well, it was a pleasure. And, you also had, your daughter participated in the Miss Curly self-esteem pageant and was just amazing.
I know. We're gonna
get out her shell.
We did. And we're gonna get into it. So look, I love the way that you are showing the things, right? So we know that
first, put your hair in a bun, and then you can tie it in the front. For me, I like to have it a little tighter, so the nape is a little out. I folded it probably too much in half, but it's okay. This is a live demo.
Hey, I love it. It looks like it's coming out how it needs to.
And that's the beauty of the wrapping, because you really just gonna tuck it in and make it happen. And so let me see where I'm at here. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in my little screen here too. And
don't worry about it.
But I was kind of sad. I was like, man, my hair's not curly. I was trying to stay on brand.
Don't worry about it, because we know how your curls look.
Look, and that's the beauty of curly hair. We are versatile. Look,
yeah, we are versatile.
I'm gonna start over. Hold on.
Don't worry about it, because we can just help. And yeah, don't worry about it. So with Curly Camp, how many Black and brown girls did you bring together?
Whew. You know what? That's really it's a beautiful question. The camp, I wanted to just have 20, and it doubled. So I had 40 girls in a camp, and I'll also shout out your other guest from yesterday, Fit and New, and you talk about community support and just offering great spaces for us to thrive. Fit and New definitely is, Brittany and Jocelyn definitely uphold those values of, supporting other Black entrepreneurs and women in general. Their space is beautiful and welcoming, and they allowed Curls on the Block to have the Camp Curly there. And this was right during like when everyone was trying to figure out, can we have stuff in person for,
Yes.
because of COVID, can we do that? And y'all see, I hooked it up a little better now. I had to.
Hooked you right on up. Girl, you are wearing your crown. Do you hear me?
Well, thank you. You know what's missing?
So pretty.
The thing that's missing is the Curly Commandment number 8. Thou shalt wear bold accessories. I need my earrings. Look, I had them one day.
Listen,
so let me pull them out.
You go and grab your stuff. Go grab your stuff, y'all. It's cool. It is fine with me. Thank you so much for giving us that. Yeah.
I appreciate. So, it's just I'm delayed. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited because when I talk about Camp Curly, all these memories keep flooding back. And actually yesterday I finally, and it's been 6 months, but I finally looked at the photos again, and I just reflected on, I had youth facilitators. So girls who were between 6 and 19, they were working with the kids. And so I really just really appreciated working with youth again in that way. I'm an educator at heart, and I have transitioned over to the college level, but being able to get back with teens and younger girls, that's my heart. And so I count the facilitators as participants too, because they did have to get trained on the Curly Commandments and all of the programming. And some of them, like you said, your daughter's limited experience with other kids who look like them, the facilitators were like, oh my gosh, hey, we're all here. This is great, And so they became friends, and they became, just examples and role models for the young girls on how you navigate conversations with each other and support each other. And so Camp Curly was just a really great time. And I'm actually working on Camp Curly for spring break, actually. Great. So I'm excited to push that out.
Keep us posted. Absolutely. Because I would love to have my daughter back in. So listen, we have a little game that we are going to play. All right, we're gonna break it up a little bit, and I have a dice. Okay. Woo! I know that we know you for Camp Curly, but we want to kind of get into some other areas of you. So I am going to put up this. Okay. Now I'm gonna roll your dice for you. Trina said, y'all cute. Hey, Tarina.
Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, girlfriend. Hey. So I'm gonna roll your dice, and whatever number we land on, I'll read it out loud so Instagram can know, and then from there, you'll have to let us know that part of you. So I'm rolling.
Okay.
You got 4. So, what is one goal that you would like to accomplish in your lifetime, and why?
Wow. Okay. That's a great question.
Isn't it?
Well, for me, I'm just in this space of appreciation and refocus, but I really actually want to retire and be an author, by being an author. So I'll shout out, Harry's Yellow Jacket.
Yes.
But I definitely want to have the equivalent of like the Babysitters Club and I don't know if you heard of the Boxcar Children, but I read that as a first grader. Yeah, that whole series, and so I want to be a series writer for young kids. So middle school age would be ideal, young adult, middle school age, and I love reading books that are out now, where everyone is all these Black authors are sharing their experiences. And I also don't want it to necessarily be full of trauma either. So like
Yes.
we have a time and space for that, but I also want just, hey, you're existing, coming of age. Those are some of my favorite books, the coming of age books. And so for me, the thing to accomplish in my lifetime is, having a series of books out for young.
Okay. I love it. And close to the end again, I want to talk about your book. So we are going to do that. So I am going to roll the dice. I love that answer. Here we go. We got 2 more times, okay? So I got number 2. Number 2 says, if you could have one wish granted, what would it be and why?
If I had one wish, what do you say? I wish for a lifetime of wishes.
Yes, like more wishes, please.
But yes, but you know what? Actually, on a more serious note, if there was one wish, I would definitely have to think a little bit more strategically about some of the things that I've witnessed and things that I think are injustices against Black people and Black women. So really, I don't know, like it's a combination of like Trading Places and that one movie where the white guy is like forced to be in a world where everybody is Black and in charge.
See, I'm not your movie girl. I will.
I don't know the name of that one.
Yeah,
but I would love for an opportunity for everyone to actually just be equal and have confidence in who they are. So where race and skin tone and culture are not used to divide us, but actually to build us together. And so we value each other based on our characteristics and our efforts and intentions, and that would be a wish, because it's very frustrating sometimes with working with kids and trying to explain to them, hey, it gets better, and you're just like, yeah, and then at my job it's not necessarily much better. But I would wish for that. I wish for equality and respect, and that I wish we could take away some of the things that have happened, in particular in the United States with chattel slavery and things like that. So yeah, that I know I kind of like took it down a bit, but it's Black History Month and I'm unapologetically Black,
it's Black History Month. We out here unapologetically Black, so it don't matter, child. Say what you want to, okay? Okay, now here's my last one. You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. 5.
Why did I hope that was the next one? And then I
blanked.
But
it's for me. This is for me. So it says.
Go ahead.
Hold on, wait. Let me
ready. Look, I'm ready.
I know you. She's ready. She's ready. So 3 songs. So name 3 songs that always make you dance.
Okay. Well, Whitney Houston's "How Will I Know?" That's just like, I can't sing, but I can dance. I enjoy dancing.
Yes.
And then the millennial in me is repping for the 99 and the 2000.
Look at. Hold on, wait. Is that Cash Money?
Hey, we ready?
You better know it.
Back that thing up. So,
yes.
And then I will say, I identify as Afro-Latina and mixed in that regard. So a little Suavemente will get me going. Suavemente. Okay, so
Analise, I love every single answer that you gave. Okay,
thank you.
When I tell you, beautifully outlined on how you do music, and I get it. I am Cash Money was taking over for the 99 and the 2000s. Okay, so thank you for that. So listen. Here we are, y'all. Analise, not Analise.
You got it. It's not How to Get Away with Murder.
It's not. No, I don't even think I've seen that show.
Oh, where you been? You know what? It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, it's Analise. Spanish A sound. Analise.
Analise. Okay, now tell me, Analise, because you say that, excuse me, not you say that, but you identify as Afro Latina. Tell me
Yeah.
how that was growing up. How did that affect you? Like, what were some of the things that were some challenges for you, or not?
Well,
Mhm.
I thank you. I
Yeah.
actually know there's some women who started podcasts about being Afro Latina too. So it was refreshing to see that conversation starting because at the end of the day, I'm Black. I just appreciate the cultures that I was able to grow up in. I
Yeah.
grew up in my Black family, immediate Black family, but my Puerto Rican cousins and aunts and uncles, I definitely look a lot like them too. I look
Yeah.
like everybody. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But growing up, I would say I probably just had more issues being a lighter tone, lighter skin with green eyes, honestly. And so that could happen whether you're mixed or not. I have
Yes.
a number of friends who are actually both parents are brown skin and they came out with green eyes and lighter skin. So
Yes.
it's not just being Afro Latina, and that term didn't exist for me when I was younger. To be quite honest,
Mm.
I was just like, if people ask, well, I'm Black and Puerto Rican. And I did start noticing at a young age, actually, people would seem more intrigued with the Puerto Rican part. So I thought about I did like my own social experiment and I did like start saying Black first. So people knew, no, I'm Black and Puerto
Yes.
Rican, and compared to, well, I'm Puerto Rican and Black. Because I felt as though when I was younger, people get caught up in the Puerto Rican. And like I said, I grew up in a Black family, so
Wow.
I'm the only mixed one, and so it just allowed me to back out of certain conversations. I think also people are very much too comfortable asking certain questions, like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
You're trying to place me, you're trying to categorize me, and ultimately that limits me from whatever you think. You're putting
Mm.
me into a space of what experiences you may have heard of or possibly experience yourself. But just because you meet one Puerto Rican person or see Rosie Perez doesn't
That's
mean you
true.
know Puerto Rican people, or or
Yes.
all mixed people are the same. And I think also it's a misnomer that all mixed folks are light skinned as well. It definitely limits that because there's a lot of Afro Latinas who are very rich in their melanin and skin
Mm.
tone. And
Yes.
you know I think of Amara La Negra. I was so excited when she came out with her fro
Oh.
and rich melanin and was speaking Spanish and English and was hitting folks like she's Dominican and she shows up as Black. So
Yeah.
so I was really grateful when she came out as a musical artist. But that's after, shoot, I was almost 30 when she came out.
Yeah.
Maybe a little younger, but I
Don't worry.
definitely have to say, growing up, um, it was definitely intentional for me to identify as Black and uphold the Black community in a way that was
Yeah.
respected and put as a good example, I guess. I was like, no, I'm representing for the Black community, and all the things I do go back to the Black community because I do believe, that's just how I grew up. I was watching
Yes.
Roots. I was just, I mean,
You were
no big
in it.
deal.
You were in it.
Yeah.
So growing up, do you feel like you had to, let's see, do you feel like you had to like prove to people, or yeah, to prove to Black people and Black females that you were Black? Like, Do you feel like because I noticed that you said you had to lead with "I'm black," and so do you feel like you people were kind of like, "Nah, you ain't really black."
Oh yeah. I mean, people, yeah. Don't. So I'm gonna be honest. With my hair straight,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this person? So yeah, I'm like, I don't even recognize you. But sometimes you just want to have a different change. I hadn't straightened
Yeah.
my hair really in like 2 years or so until my friend's wedding, and I was in it. But to answer your question, absolutely, I think it. I want to highlight this even more. It doesn't necessarily come from white folks questioning my blackness. It is actually more so from the black community, if anything. But honestly, once I start talking, people are like, "Oh yeah, she black."
She
Like
black.
it's not a
Yeah.
question.
She's a sister.
But yeah, exactly. And so right, and also down for the cause, because let's be real, there's not all what they say, not all skin folk is kin folk. So I would I'm like, I'm not going to negate an experience from someone who grew up in the United States and dealt with colorism and texturism, curlerism, as I sometimes say. But some people don't advocate for the black community, or don't represent, don't have any connections to it, and feel no obligation to do so. So for me, yeah, there are times that I feel like I might, I'm like checking myself, like, am I overcompensating? I don't have to prove anything to anybody. But I do want to highlight, actually, I saw this post on Instagram that the caption was like, oh, light skinned people are the worst when it comes to upholding, black community. And I was like, I understand that. And there's been waves because of access opportunities and limitations based on color, brown paper bag test. I mean, the black doll test. I mean, these things exist. The brown paper bag test, was detrimental to the black community, but we did it to ourselves.
Yes.
What groups you could join if you were light enough. And then, the black doll test definitely is something that we talked about in Camp Curly. It's one of the first 3 lessons in any programming I'm doing, whether it's 6 to 10 weeks long with after school groups or even, off-site groups. I have the participants watch the black doll test and watch kids the 70s to 2000s still choosing black dolls as really negative adjectives and descriptors, and then having to say which one they look like. And so that internalized hatred is very bad. And unless we have space to talk about it and address it, it's going to continue to perpetuate. But I want to highlight someone who's in my office. Oh, that's a card. Angela Davis, she's, a role model for me. I appreciate her book, Race, Class, and Gender, and Kathleen Cleaver and Michaela Angela Davis. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, some people might say Maya Angelou is light skinned. So to me also, I've had these conversations with siblings who are more melanated, rich than I am. And it's disheartening sometimes, but I hope that, through conversation, we can continue to build everyone up to know they're valued and they're beautiful and they're smart and they should be recognized as that. But some of the things that I talked about is perspective, because some folks feel like they're dark skinned and I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
In comparison, it's all, subjective to me, because I'm lighter than, or I'm more brown sometimes than my friends who are mixed white and black, or so, it's just interesting. And then I have friends who are from Nigeria who are darker than I am, right? And there's no negative connotation, in my opinion, for skin tone, but it's just perspective. Because I'm like, bro, you would be a little closer to my end if you're whitening your spectrum of color. Like, it's very limiting to say, but people also don't even really see themselves I don't think accurately. And I feel I'm going to get into social media, how bad that has been, where the body dysmorphia, I mean, is at an extreme. Even I like a filter because I don't have the best skin. So I'm like, okay, go ahead. I don't have to
Put
wear
the
makeup
filter
today.
on.
Yeah, go ahead. Look, you can't
Yes.
filter the canvas now. You can't filter the
Yes.
canvas. But actually you can. So you can distort noses and everything. And I grew up, if anything, more frustrated with my nose, if anything. But I grew to love it and feel like, I don't have to change that. And I like my little big nose.
I have one too. It's okay.
Look.
Don't even worry about it. It's cool.
It's cultural, baby. Look.
Yes, it is.
So for me,
I love
those are
it.
the things I like to address and have conversations about, and that I'm not a fool to, but I definitely know those mentors that I mentioned, those ladies that I mentioned who are possibly considered lighter skin. They advocate real hard for the Black community and have made huge strides for equality and justice, and embracing our natural beauty and our natural intelligence and pushing that. And so, Maya Angelou, Angela Davis, and Kathleen Cleaver, for Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, like, hey, they knew what community meant, and it's greater than skin tone. It really is. It's your commitment to upholding the access and prosperity of our community. So that's what I'm committed to.
Wow. I love it. I love it. You're so educated and well-versed in what you talk about and what you believe in. I love that. What is your degree in?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I showed you behind scenes. I'm not doing that now, but I have my degrees up, and I am very proud. I'm a sociology major, communication minor from Creighton University. Go Blue Jays! And then I did get my master's in education at Metropolitan State University, and what is her name? She went there. She went to East. She was Foxy Brown. Why can't I think of her name?
Don't get me to lying, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
So, she's from Colorado, and she went there when it was Metro State College. So it was kind of cool, anecdotal story. But so I majored in sociology and communication, and got that master's in education. But I definitely am a self-paced learner too. So I read a lot of books, and I just have so many. I still have books in boxes because I didn't put them all out yet. But I definitely researched African American history a lot, Black authors, and I was doing that as a teen, just going to the library. And at that time, my library would have things bound, have a sticker on the binding. It said African American author. That was helpful for me. Because otherwise you're just like in a land of books. And then I would start looking at the other titles, either that publishing company had previously published, or books from that author. And that's how I continued on and learning more, digging deeper, and learning some of our major authors, because it wasn't taught necessarily in school, and I was even in gifted, talented classes. So I was a self-learner and self-motivated. And as an educator, I actually just shared this, if I can share, a parent of a young girl. He came up to me and his daughter's going to be in kindergarten, and he was looking for a school that looked like her, had teachers and principal and everybody. And I said, well, you're in Colorado, so just be mindful, but also this is probably controversial and I don't care, but I really do believe two things. There is an obligation on our nation to be more inclusive and accurate with our history. So there's some social studies standards that are changing in favor of highlighting the accurate history in Colorado and beyond. So the standards have changed. There's a proposal out, and there's a petition that is out to say, hey, I support honest, inclusive, representative education. And so I'll love to add that link there. We're it's letting legislators know, hey, this is important, and we do want kids to learn everyone's histories, because when you learn that, you're able to do better. But putting that aside, how in the world do we think the system was created for us? Parents, the obligation and onus is on you. You are the child's first teacher. And at the end of the day, we cannot expect the system to teach us.
Yes.
They never wanted us in school. Come on now. So, the struggle we're at makes sense for me. It's unfortunate. And obviously, like I said, I started with the premise, hey, we are obligated to make those changes, do better. But I also really encourage parents to put their kids in programming like Curls on the Block, Camp Curly, but also reading books, finding Black authors, shameless plug, supporting Black women like such as yourself and entrepreneurs, because just being in community, kids are able to learn and communicate with each other and learn values and obviously faith as well. So it's definitely for me twofold. It starts at home. It really, really does, but is reinforced in education settings, academic settings. So
I love it. Absolutely. Now we did get our answer a while back. Pam Grier.
Pam Grier. Thank you.
So
I couldn't think of her
both
name.
Arlene and Tarina let us know that it was Pam Grier.
Now, y'all knew who I was talking about.
I know. Yeah, they did. Now, I want to just switch gears for a little bit. I want to know, what is something that is very surprising about you that people may not know?
Oh, that's funny. I would probably say that I'm only 5 feet.
Yes, this is true.
Most people
I went to go and pick up I went to go and pick up my daughter from Camp Curly. And so Analise was in there with all the girls, right? And I'm like, where is the leader of this thing? And so then the kids kind of like part ways. And then I'm like, you blend in with all of the kids.
I'm blending in. And hopefully face card activated too.
Absolutely. And if I didn't know you, right? If I didn't know your face, I would think that you were one of the kids. So that's really funny that you are just around 5'1", if
not even. I'm not 5 feet. Some haters will say 4'11". I'm not 4'11". I'm 5 feet.
That sounded specific in that you were targeting one person. So listen, 4'11".
They know who they are.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I had to fight for those 5 feet. And actually, my hair gives me about like a couple more inches. So when people meet me in person, sometimes they're like, oh, it doesn't even hit them. I'm also strategic. I give space. And so like, if you're really tall, like I give enough space. I've learned the tricks, people. And standing on stairs, like, oh, hey, we're eye level. But also my personality is often big. And so people don't recognize, oh, wow, you're actually really short. So but a lot of people were short and great.
I mean, over on Instagram, hello, my name is James, said, I knew you were 4'11". So
see, that's the hater I'm talking about.
So apparently someone is calling you out, and I'm okay with that.
That's my boyfriend.
Oh, okay. What's up, boyfriend? How you doing? How long have you guys been together?
Oh, long enough. Actually, we did meet last year, and it's been great since. So,
very
shout out
nice,
to James. I'm blushing.
All right, James.
Let me stand myself.
Look at. What do you like about James?
Oh Lord, we're getting personal. Okay. Well,
I want to know.
One of the things that I appreciate about James is, I was gonna look on Instagram. Being with him, I definitely developed in a better way. I've definitely taken leaps in working on my faith and actually working on it. Out here in Colorado, I definitely felt alone a lot of times. Yes, so thank you, James. yeah, and so we definitely take time, to study a little bit. We could do a little better probably, but study, but also talking about how we want to incorporate God into our relationship and how to inspire people in the future. And so when you have a person who is very strong in that space and willing to work with you to get back on the track, it is inspiring, and definitely I appreciate it. So that's where I'm at. So he definitely brings out the best in me and has encouraged and made me feel like I don't have to hide my light anymore. I had been pretty down last year and the year before, and lost some friendships, and still don't know all the reasons why. But at this point, I'm over it. And we've talked about being best friends and how do you do that? And I was like, well, if I had those two friendships, I probably wouldn't have time for him. So amen.
It's very true.
So I did have to carve out that time to get to know him and get to know me in a different way too. Because I was going to answer something else too, like one thing I haven't accomplished, which is motherhood. So I am interested in that. Creeping me.
Hey, bring the babies.
I got a few more things to do.
I get it. Don't listen. As a mother of 4, as a mother of 4, I get it. Take your time, girl. Don't rush into nothing. But I did want to say that I think there is something really refreshing. I know that we are talking about unapologetic Black woman, or unapologetic Black woman. That is who we are. And so I think it's something really refreshing when because we're so used to being, go, 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 go. That's why I wanted to put James on the spot for just a little bit. Because it's really refreshing when you have and you opened up a whole different can of worms that I was like, oh, that's really cool. So being that he's the one who's getting you back in touch with your faith and really getting your spirit together, that really says a lot, because a lot of the times we're the ones to do that for our men. So I am happy, James. Great job. Keep on shining your light, because your light is shining right on Analise. And together, we are creating something beautiful. So I just, I understand what you mean by losing friendships. It is not the easiest thing to go through. It is really like a grief, right? It is really
it's like a breakup and a death.
It is a breakup and a death. It is. And so I think that I have learned that in my life, sometimes we just have to release things that are no longer really feeding us or good for us. And a lot of the times people are like, well, did you try hard enough, or did you do this, or did you do that? And when you have, right, when you really did do the things, you just kind of have to walk in. I was talking to this a couple episodes ago with Dr. Rakisha Fry Brown. I like to say her whole name because it just flows off. But when you make a decision to not participate in that or in that relationship anymore, sometimes people try to hold you back in that, and they say, well, did you try hard? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I want to know, did you have that experience? Like, when these relationships kind of dissolved, did you realize that some people were trying to kind of make you feel bad about your decision, if you were the one that made the decision?
I was going to say, I would say my expectations of friends are very high. And I didn't really necessarily, I didn't say, oh, I have a bunch of best friends. It was a very specific title, and I just was hesitant in the first place. And the two friendships I'm thinking of right now, both ended months after each other, and had been friends for probably about between 6 and 8 years. And I can say I did do this little forgiveness plan on the Bible app. I don't know if you heard of that, but it's actually really convenient to help me remember, to go ahead and read my devotional. And I had done some other devotional stuff, but this one was specific to forgiveness. And shout out to James' family. His aunt sent me a book on forgiveness as well, but which I'm preparing to start at the end of the month. But man, you talk about not knowing when you don't know exactly what you did. Because I'm like, look, y'all know me as my friend. You know I'm gonna say stuff. I'm gonna be authentic.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, so what changed? But one of the things I started just having to just let it go. Hey, I did reach out. I did my part. I had supported folks financially. I put my brand name on the line. I lived in their home for a month to help them build up stuff. Like I gave my all as a friend, and then feeling months later that I could be rejected in such a way that hurt. And I was on an air mattress helping them out, but I digress. I will say, to answer your question, did I try my hardest? I think that in the friendship, yes. And what I expect of friends is an opportunity to have conversation. If I've offended you and you don't give me that respect as a friend to tell me, what kind of friendship were we in? And one person in particular, I did reach out and was like, hey, I know our friendship's not where it used to be, but I'd like to confirm what it is that I did. And I'm like, since when can you not have an argument? I can say these were like the first arguments. First arguments, and the friendship's gone. And major argument. And so I'm like, if you can't come back from a major argument and no names were called, like nothing, there was no name, like, it wasn't no housewives of any city. It wasn't married to whatever practitioner. It wasn't any of those types of things. But I mean, to my knowledge, but hey, let me know. But actually don't, because at this point I'm just having to appreciate what I had at the time and just feel comfortable with letting that rest. With my workouts as well as in my devotional, I just, in the workout in particular, they have this like boxing thing I do. So I don't say their name, but I say like the issue. Sometimes I've said their name, but more like the frustration, like letting that go. And now I'm just preparing for whatever's next. So I just posted, on my socials that, hey, the best is yet to come. So all the things I've done in the past so far, that's great with those people in my life. And imagine now what it can be in the future. And I probably will be a little bit reluctant to open myself up again for building friendships, but I've had a chance to actually reevaluate and look at the people who are still here and who have been, same amount of time or effort. And I make sure, hey, I'm sending them the cards, I'm calling them on their birthday, I'm supporting them, and staying true to what I believe is expected in a relationship, in a friendship. So I would say those friendships, losing them hurt more than a breakup. Because dudes be coming back, he'd be like, can you leave me alone? But the friendships, he'd be like,
I'm done, okay?
My team, yeah.
Yeah.
But so thank you for that chance. I feel like, hey, I'm putting that to bed. I got a chance to say it out loud, and I'm done. I'm over it, and I'm grateful for what I experienced, and I'm just going to ask that, hey, God, put people in my path that are going to continue to uplift and be in a space to be in a respectful friendship, that they're willing to tell me when I've hurt them, or when they need more from me, or something different. I think that's friendship, but I know that whole thing, you got to level up. I don't think you should be disregarding the people who helped you get there. I just, and I'll apologize to anybody who I've offended. I hate when people say that. If I've offended you, let me know. But I'm like, I see why they say that, because sometimes you don't know. Like, hey, I was holding on to that. Also, 33-year-old Annalise is better than 25-year-old Annalise.
Absolutely.
So
you know what? Someone just said this. It's kind of like a ghosting. Isn't that kind of like a ghosting? Like, if
it's immature,
you don't know. Yes, like if you don't know. Listen, let me not even get myself. I'm not gonna get myself.
I need some tea now.
I'm not. I'm like, because I just think that as older excuse me, not because we let me just say, because yesterday Jocelyn was 33, or Brittany was 33, and so now Annalise is 33. Your girl's about to be 40 this year, and
Hey,
so
that's a great age.
I'm completely excited and ready for it. And so I just think that when we are growing, sometimes I've heard over and over, you don't get new friendships as a grown woman. Like, no, ain't no new friends, no new friends. But if I didn't have space for new friends, I would be really, really, really lonely.
Yeah.
And do you think do you think that's a black woman thing? Do you think everybody's out here saying no new friends?
I
Or
think
do you think
everybody
that's a
is. I think
cultural thing? Yes?
I blame Drake. No, but
Why did Drake do that to us?
why did he
He got
say
us
that?
out here lonely, y'all.
Lonely. I would say you want to be cognizant. You have to know yourself for one. So you really need to spend a little more time with who you are and what things you put out there. So when he's saying no new friends, I'm interpreting it as like, hey, be aware of the people you're bringing into your space, because not everybody who shows up is there for good intentions. Some of them are supposed to be partnerships, not friendships. And so just learning those differences is important. And I was even thinking, even my relationships, even friendship, even with my siblings, that's something I can build back into. I know your family is a great role model for me to really look into that. My friend Mila, man, these women, you all just inspire me to look back at the friendships who've been there since I was born. So my older sister, whose birthday is on the 13th. But I also, I do have friends. I have, like I said, I have the friends. You got to look around who's been there. You have people who've been there, and you really have to appreciate them. And sometimes friendship comes in family. So just looking at if your family has always been there for you, as mine has, even with any issues or frustrations, it's worth rebuilding, because they look like you, and your kid probably don't look like them too. So you might as well.
That is so crazy. My Koa looks just like my brother. I'm like, how in the world does this even work? Like, it is crazy, but it's real. So thank you for sharing your heart with us with that, because I know it's not an easy thing, but I just think sometimes, even as Black women, we are so sheltered, and we don't like sharing our truth, because sometimes we feel like we're going to get judged, or they're going to look at us different. And I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I am, and it's sometimes to a fault of my own, but I am sometimes an open book, right? And sometimes people are like, oh, it's okay. It's okay.
That's my child.
That's here. Let's see. Who is that?
It's Harvey.
Hi,
None other.
Harvey.
You gonna bark? You better say hi.
You better. Hi, Harvey. Look at you.
He can hear you too. He's like, who is talking?
Oh, I love that doggy.
Even my dog is curly.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. But anyway, I was just saying that sometimes it's hard to be open, especially after you've had your heart broken so many times. But I also think that it's time to start sharing your stories about how you've overcome those things. So thank you for just being open and honest about the things, right? Your relationship, your friendships that have dissolved, and just taking
I'm private.
I know, I get it. Don't worry. It's okay. That's what Fit New said yesterday. They're like, Candace, wow, you really have us getting into some things. And I'm like, absolutely. Because I don't want people to think that they can't share their story out of, just fear of what someone's going to say. So I thank you for just just for that. So I know that we're coming up on time. Let us know what you have coming up. You put something in the Facebook chat.
Yes, it's that petition that
The
it's
petition,
the
yes.
social studies standards that I was referring to. I do work for Great Education in Colorado, and we are pushing a petition. We're just trying to get like 3,000 signatures or more, but we submitted about 1,200 signatures to the CDE committee, who is looking at the proposed changes and did the work to change them and edit them. So we had 1,200, but can you believe there's over 1,800 signatures opposing changing things to be inclusive? Yeah, so we really need everyone who cares about reflective, honest, inclusive education, accurate history, to sign, because otherwise, government runs on who's sharing. Also today, there's a bill for what is it? Not prohibiting charges, preventing getting your transcript. So if you ever dropped out of college, the struggle is real in order to go to another college or start up again, or sometimes in order to get a job, you have to submit transcripts. But if you didn't finish, sometimes schools hold your transcript with a fee. In Colorado, there's a bill which being proposed to in that fee in particular to have access. They can charge you in other ways, but they can't stop you from getting your transcript. And I know that could really support a lot of our students of color who possibly paused education for financial purposes and for family. And so it's definitely another one. It's with New Era Colorado. They're definitely, and I can try and find that bill information, but they're testifying today about it. And so I was at the Urban League meeting last Tuesday night, and the legislators, the Black Caucus, came and spoke, and they're really encouraging people to get more active in the political arena, because if we show up, once we do, either to kind of scare legislators, sadly, I'm laughing to not cry, but we're intimidating, or we're offering our perspective, saying, no, the Black community does have a voice, even though Colorado's 4% Black. We got a voice, and issues that are pertinent for our community have historically been issues that every other community deals with. It started even with housing. The housing issues started in the Black community about 10 years prior than the bubble bursting for the nation. And so if they had looked at the fraudulent things that were being done in the banking against Black folks, and giving loans at rates, and the ice creaming, all of that stuff, the issues in the Black community are an example of what's going to be reflected in the nation years to come. So those are two things in the political realm that I know are coming up that you want to pay attention to. There's some criminal justice stuff as well, but for Curls on the Block, there's going to be Camp Curly spring break, and there's going to be the hometown delegate opportunity to be in the state level Miss Curly Colorado, and then the Miss Curly USA pageant. And so definitely looking forward to getting more contestants. Since COVID, right before COVID, things changed, and I went virtual and ended up expanding that year. So currently the Miss Curly pageant, there's three national queens, and there'll be another state queen in a couple of months. And so in June and July, be looking for your chance to compete in the Miss Curly USA pageant. So I'm excited to continue and do better and get back to what I had been doing, which was, community events where young girls were looking forward to it. And it's been interesting seeing how Denver's been improving their efforts to collaborate. Because years before, it was a struggle. It was a struggle to get people to pay $15 to come to an event, and now you're paying $40 for some food and drink. And you're like, man, we got really quality events and speakers and workshops. So I'm ready to get back in the game and uplift our youth, because they still need things to do. We still have high rates of crime and gunshots, and our kids are still struggling and in the academic setting. So I want to create that space again for them to thrive. So Those things are coming up. If you want to book me to do a reading with your group, that's available. And you can download the Curls on the Block app. So
put it all out there. And
I just got the things.
Yes, and let's see your book again. I want Instagram and Facebook to see your book.
Harriet's Yellow Jacket, my friends. It is available for there's some downloads. Also, the illustrator Adri Norris is a really well-known illustrator in the nation, but she's done a number of murals throughout Colorado. She did the one for the Black Lives Matter in front of the state capitol, and she's done some that are off of Welton on a building, and has the badass cards, like badass women of Colorado, a card deck. That's the title of it.
Hey, it's the title.
So that's an example of like collaboration and just, talented people working together to make, the illustrations are my favorite part of the book, outside of the message, obviously. And, it was beautiful. I'm working on another book to address colorism. So, that's pouring out of me every other day. I got a new idea for it, but so thank you so much for the chance to share my inner thoughts.
You are so welcome. Yes, and to stay unapologetic, because we don't have to apologize for everything. All right, I am who I am, but this is me unapologetically. All right. So thank you so much, Analise, for coming on today. I really, really appreciate it. I enjoyed the conversation and just the wealth of information that you have to share. Once again, thank you for being that example to my girls, for having them involved. I can't wait until Bailey gets involved, because she is going to be a force to be reckoned with, because she has a really big personality, right? So I can't wait to get her involved, but thank you for having this available for our melanin children. And I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to get into the spring break camp. I promise I won't do what I did last time and wait until the last minute. Thank you for accepting me.
You were a late register. I do remember that.
When I tell you late, that's what happens when you have twins, as you know, because you have sibling twins, right?
Yes, and my mom's an identical twin, so yeah.
You better watch out, because it sounds like it skipped a generation, and when it skips a generation, it falls in your lap. You're looking at her right here. Anyway, that's a different story for another day. But I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for joining me today. Anything else?
Yeah, stay curly.
Stay curly, y'all. Stay curly, and we will see you guys around. Just a couple more comments. Arlene said, awesome. Tarina said, thank you, ladies. And with that, we are going to end. We'll see you guys later.